Okay, so for the next part in our dashboard tutorial, I'm going to look at the comments section. This is something I get lots of questions about and something that is really personal in how you want to set it up. I'm going to talk through the options that are available to you within WordPress, but it's worth mentioning at this point, and I'll probably keep saying in this video, that there are countless plugins, one of which Ask me about Comment Love. That's the one that I use and endorse fully, and I'll explain to you why if you ask me about it. But for now, if I click on the comments section, and we can see here the dashboard for the comments section has opened up. Right now, the only comment that we have is a sample comment from Mr. WordPress at wordpress.org. The first thing that I always encourage everybody to do, or tell everybody to do, it's not even encouragement, is to trash this comment. This is of no use to you whatsoever, and no matter how important commenting is to your social strategy, having a comment that says, "Hi, this is a comment," is not going to be any use to you. It's not going to make you look good. So one of the first things to do on a new WordPress install is to click into comments, come in here and trash this comment. So now we're going to go under settings, and we're going to go on the hover menu to where it says discussion. Okay, so under discussion settings, you can see that we have a whole list of tick box options. And I'm just going to list through these options and give a brief overview as to what they are, and examples or explanations as to why you may want to opt in or out of having these enabled or disabled. So your default article settings, so these are things that you post generally. Attempt to notify any blogs linked to from the article. So you want that to happen because linking is always going to be a good thing. So always leave that ticked unless there's a particular reason that you're writing about something that you don't want to notify. Allow link notifications from other blogs. This is pingbacks and trackbacks. I leave this ticked on mine. I get pingbacks. They come in as comments. I don't approve them as comments because I don't want them showing on my website. Just because they look a little bit messy, but they're really good for informational purposes. If you're not keeping a really close eye on your analytics, or you don't have time to keep a check on where people are talking about you, if people have linked to your post, you will get a notification in form of a pingback that will come in as a comment. And so that's something really useful to be aware of. So I'd keep that enabled, and when they start to come in, you'll see what I mean. If they become messy later, you can just come back to this discussion tab under settings and untick that box and save your changes. Allow people to post comments on new articles. Presuming that you want people to be commenting and having discussion on your blog, you need to have this ticked. If you want to have closed commenting, if you don't want any commenting taking place on your articles, then untick this box, and that's as far as you need to watch in this video. If you are unticking this box, you don't need to watch anything else, because everything else I talk about is going to be about people commenting. So down into the next one, other comment settings. The comment author must fill out their name and email. This is useful just because if you want to contact somebody who's left a particularly interesting or useful comment, or has asked a question and you don't want to discuss it publicly, it means you can contact them. I always have this tagged because I just think it's a really useful thing to have. Nothing better than having somebody's communication email address. Users must be registered and logged in to comment. An interesting one, because I have used or set up sites in the past where people do have to be registered and logged in to comment. This is useful if you have huge amounts of traffic and you want to limit particularly if you think you may have controversial topics or things that people might fire off responses about without thinking, and you don't want to be spending ages moderating comments, then that's going to be useful. If you are having sporadic commenting and you want to encourage conversation, I would highly recommend that you don't tick that box. There's nothing more off-putting than getting enthusiastic after reading somebody's article, typing out a reply, and then finding that you have to register to use their website. You'll find 9 times out of 10 that people will just fail to complete that process. So if you are a personal blog or small-scale blog just starting out, unless you are having tens of thousands of hits a day, I would leave that box unticked. Automatically close comments on articles older than however many days. You can change the number in this box to anything that suits you. I don't do that because my content is not time sensitive. If you are reporting on news events or anything current, then you might want to close conversation on anything that gets older than a certain period of time, because it may become irrelevant and people will be giving comments and feedback that aren't in keeping with the intention of whatever it is you've written. So something to think about, again, time sensitive issue. Enable threaded or nested comments 5 levels deep currently. This is a drop down box. You can select however many. 5 is the default setting. All these default settings, if you're not sure on anything yet, I would start out with these boxes ticked. This is another one the same. What a threaded or nested comment system is means that when people reply, if they're replying to a specific person who's commented, it will be indented underneath and kind of boxed in with their comments. So it groups little conversations together inside your commenting system, which is quite nice, because if people are replying back and forward to each other, it keeps it all grouped together rather than it being interspersed in a whole long list of comments. So it's quite a handy feature to have. Break comments into pages with 50 top. Again, this is an editable number. You can change that number. 50 top level comments per page, and the last or first page displayed by default. Comments should be displayed with the older or newer comments at the top of each page. So this is particularly handy if you are expecting reams and reams of commenting to take place on your articles. Tick that box. I tick this box just because it's really great to be able to have the newer comments at the top of each page. And if you're using your content and people are to promote discussion, and people are viewing content that's quite old and has some older conversation on it, and it's been recycled for some reason, it's always nice for people who have spent time reading your article to then be able to look at the newest comments rather than having to wade all the way through from oldest to newest. Down to email notifications. You can have an email sent to you anytime anyone posts a comment, or anytime a comment is held for moderation, or both. I have notifications sent to me for both because I just like to be quick off the mark if somebody's taken the time to comment on my blog. I don't necessarily want to wait until I next log into my WordPress dashboard before I'm aware of that. And then if we go down to here, this is where we talk about moderation. So before a comment appears, an administrator must always approve the comment, or the comment author must have a previously approved comment. I select this bottom option because it's relevant for me and my audience. I know if I've approved somebody once, it means that I trust them to be able to comment responsibly and in a relevant taste for my the rest of my audience. So I'm quite happy that if somebody has already had something approved by me, they can continue commenting as much as they'd like. If you're nervous about things, or you're posting controversial topics or sensitive information, then perhaps it might be worth considering always approving the comments. To start out with, you may not be getting huge amounts of comments, so it might not be too much of an administration task to just moderate all comments if that's what you'd like to do. Down here, if you are going to moderate everything, then you don't need to worry about any of this, because you are going to have everything held in your moderation queue regardless of what filters you put in place. So here you can choose to hold a comment in a moderation queue if it has X amount of links or more. So one of the things it says here in brackets that it's really easy to spot spam commenting, but if they have a large number of links in their comments. Usually it's filled with irrelevant waffle, typos, anything that's distinctive about spam comments, usually entirely irrelevant to the topic that the comment has been placed on. But this helps, it's an additional filter. So you can, in this box here, you can write a list of words that will alert a potential spam. So anything that you put in here that you feel is a spam thing, and sometimes if you find that you are becoming spammed by the same kind of people all the time, you can pick out the words from those spam comments and add them into this box. Comment blacklist. So when a comment contains any of these words in its content, name, URL, email, or IP, it will be marked as spam. So you, again, fill your things out here that are relevant to you. I'll say again, if you are administrating all comments, you don't need to enter anything into those boxes. And last but not least in discussion, avatars. Avatar is the small icon. Mine is up here in the top right, and if I hold it there, it pops out. That is your avatar. It's a little picture that you associate with your online profile, and you can choose whether or not to display or not to display avatars with people's comments. It can be quite a nice thing to have, because some people's pictures, you know, we use the same pictures generally around our social profiles. It's quite nice to be able to spot people visually who you might know from other social platforms. Here you can select rating. In the Gravatar system, which is mentioned here, you can rate your picture that you've used. So you can allow pictures that are suitable for all audiences. You can filter. So if you want only things that are suitable for all audiences, then if you select that, anybody who's got a picture that they have rated as anything above that won't be displayed on your site. So you have control of that too. For users without those a Gravatar in place, you can choose whether to have the standard mystery man, whether you should have nothing on display, or you can choose one of these two. So you have lots of choices there. So that literally spans through the discussion settings that link into the comments, and anything you do, you need to click Save Changes to just update everything that you've selected, and then you are good to go. Your commenting is all set up, ready to go.